Hey guys, Matt again. I did not do 2 videos last weekend, so this is my second. I'm gonna do the Monkees. The Monkees, every kid's favorite pseudo band of the 1960s, whom for many years I avoided, thought they were, kid stuff, laughed at my friend for being into them. And then sometime, actually, I'll tell you exactly when it was. It was 1986. I was already 21 years old. And MTV had a marathon weekend where they played all the episodes of the 2 Monkees seasons. And my friend, the same friend I told you about and I used to laugh at, taped them all on a few, VHS cassettes. At first he stayed up. It was like an all-night thing, editing out the commercials. And then when he fell asleep, he had just let the whole thing play. And anyways, I actually asked to borrow those to see what all the excitement was about, even though I had seen the Monkees episodes when I was a kid, but not a whole lot of them. And lo and behold, I became a fan. We also saw them that year at a concert at Jack Murphy Stadium after a Padres game. Mike was not there, but it was the 3 Monkees. And that was the time that they had the That Was Then, This Is Now kit. So I bought whatever CD compilation was out at the time that had that song on it. So anyways, then I started buying Monkees books, which I have forgotten at my school, but I did get Andrew Sandoval's super book. Was it last year or the year before? The Day by Day story by Andrew Sandoval. Yeah, look at this thing. I mean, yeah, he literally does it day by day. And, any day you want, I can't possibly thumb through this for you. But anyways, lots of pictures, text. So, yeah, I'm like a Monkees fanatic now. So, I'm going to go over their albums with you right now, but just the 60s ones. Not that 1971 where it's just Mickey and Davy, which I don't have that one anyway. Just the 60s albums from 66 through 68, the real Monkees albums. So I'm going to start with 1966. The Monkees. This is the, I'll be using the double disc Rhino versions. They got all you need. This is mono stereo. I also have the bigger box sets, which I'll show you, that Rhino Handmade put out. It's a great album. For a band who wasn't even playing their instruments really at the time on the records. Oh, you may have had, Michael or Peter strumming the occasional guitar in 1966, but it's a great album. I mean, a theme from the Monkees, we all know that. Saturday's Child, outstanding. I Want to Be Free, Tomorrow's Gonna Be Another Day, great. Papa Jean's Blues, what was that, early psych country rock from Mr. Nesmith. Take a Giant Step, awesome. Last Train to Clarksville is a classic. This Just Doesn't Seem to Be My Day, love it. Let's Dance On. I'll Be There For You, those Davy ballads. Sweet Young Thing is great, and Gonna Buy Me a Dog. So, it's a great album. It's, this is what the kids were into in the fall of 1966. Some years ago, Rhino Handmade put out this big deluxe 3-disc set, which may be all you need, really. I mean, it's got the mono and the stereo mixes, but so does that. All right. This also has Davy Jones singles, the original Davy Jones album. There's some Michael Blessing singles. Michael Blessing, of course, is Michael Nesmith. A bunch of demos, sessions, The Monkees. It's a great album. 1966. And in 66, folks, there really weren't that many great American bands, albums in the kind of, youthful, emerging, countercultural vein. Not that the Monkees were ever countercultural, but, they played the part, I guess. All right, very similar, almost son of the Monkees, is more of the Monkees. Again, the Rhino double disc. It's got the stereo, it's got the mono, it's got all you need, really. Bonus material, you know. And it also has, oh, see this cover? They didn't like, that was some kind of, I don't know, Sears or JCPenney or Montgomery Ward, I don't remember, clothing line that they were like, you know, being like models for. And so they had, the Monkees had no veto power over this cover, this LP cover being released, and Michael didn't like it. Although, you know, this looks like a cover to me. The more of the Monkees big Rhino handmade deluxe box. Again, 3 discs, you know, a bit perhaps overkill. So if you're happy with the 2-disc version, nothing wrong with that. But again, this album, every bit as strong as the first one. She, that's like almost, you know, proto-punk or garage rock at the least. When Love Comes Knocking at Your Door is a decent, you know, pop tune. Mary Mary is great. That was, what, sampled by Run DMC or something. Hold On Girl, Your Auntie Griselda is a throwaway tune. I'm Not Your Stepping Stone, classic. And I do like their version better than, say, you know, Paul Revere and the Raiders. Look at Here Comes Tomorrow is good. Kind of Girl I Could Love is all right. The Day We All Fall in Love, another Davey type song. Sometime in the Morning, great. Laugh, and the immortal I'm a Believer. Yeah, I'm going to say more of the Monkees. Just a hair's difference between that and the Monkees. Just as good, really. Okay, that was in early 67. They would release 3 LPs in 67. The next one, oh, which one should I show you? I'll show you the 2-disc version first. Headquarters. Headquarters is a favorite Monkees LP of many people. It is the one where they won the battle to play their own instruments, which they did. Of course, they also had other musicians playing on here for them. 2-disc version, again, mono, stereo, bonus tracks, etc. Funny thing is when they won that right, you know, their battle against Don Kirshner, they immediately after Headquarters kind of abandoned the idea of playing all of their instruments. This is pretty much the only album where they attempt to do that. And like I said, even so, there's additional musicians on here. But again, what an album. This is the summer of 67, by the way, Summer of Love. You Told Me, I'll Spend My Life With You, Forget That Girl. These are all good songs. Band 6 is Throwaway. You Just May Be the One. I love that song. Shades of Grey is great. I Can't Get Off My Mind. For Pete's Sake is one of, that was the closing credits song on season 2, right? Pure Torque song. Mr. Webster, Sunny Girlfriend, all great. Zilch is kind of a filler tune. No Time was one of Mickey's really fast-paced songs. Early Morning, Blues and Greens, Randy Scousket, which was a big hit in England. All right. Now the Headquarters album, since there's like a cult around that record, that has been the subject of a few things. This is the old Headquarters sessions. I got this in a little plastic bag. This came out a long time ago. This was limited edition. What is this? 3339 out of 4500. It's 3 discs, I believe. You know. All right. But then they did not leave well enough alone, and they did the usual Rhino handmade. This is a 4-disc version. So they were just killing it here. Again, mono, stereo, and tons of other mixes. February 67 sessions, March 67 and beyond sessions, etc., etc. I don't know if you can get a good shot of that or not. Anyways, you can go online and look it up. I recommend this, but I recommend all the Monkees Rhino Handmade Deluxe editions. It is perhaps overkill, so if you are not that into the band, get the double disc versions. You know, that's pretty much all you need. In the summer of 67, to prove that they could play, they toured. This is the summer of 67 complete U.S. concert recordings. It's one of those Rhino handmade things. This is 4 discs. It's the same show every night. You know, I mean, they didn't vary it up anything. But, you know, if you want to get your Monkees live fix, this is it. You know, these are the best recorded shows. There really aren't there's not that much live Monkees that you can get. So I don't know if this is out of print or whatever. I'm sure it is. If it's going for silly money on online, don't bother. But you know, I like it. It kind of completes the collection. And then by the end of '67, like I said, their third LP, Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Jones Limited. This is my favorite Monkees album. This does you fine. This is the 2-disc set with a lot of bonus stuff. Cut for cut, there is the least amount of filler on this record. Salesman, She Hangs Out, The Door into Summer, Love's Only Sleeping, Cuddly Toy, the Nilsson tune. Words, Hard to Believe, What Am I Doing Hanging Around? That's one of the best things Michael ever sung. Peter Percival's Patterson's Pet Pig Porky, it's another filler track. Pleasant Valley Sunday, big hit. Daily Nightly, Psychedelia. Don't Call on Me and Star Collector, hardly a filler track among them. And wouldn't you know, this is the one album thus far, well, it's the only album of the 60s that there is not a big Rhino Handmade deluxe edition of. So this is it, folks. You want to get this album, mono, stereo, lots of deluxe, bonus tracks, get this double disc set. All right? I don't know why there's not a big box set for that, because there's not that much sessions which went into recording that. I don't know. Don't know at all. But in 1968, before the show ended, or maybe it was about the time of the show ended in the spring of '68. This is the Birds, the Bees, and the Monkees. I don't have a regular CD of that. I don't think that there was a double disc set of that. So this is the Rhino Handmade. I think this was the first one. This is a 3 discs. It's one of the better ones too. You get the stereo and the mono. The mono tapes, I think, were lost, so they had to get the mono version for this on. I think it's a vinyl transfer, but it sounds great. Dream World, Antiques Municipal Court, We're Made for Each Other. Tapioca Tundra was a hit. Daydream Believer was a huge hit. Righting Wrongs, I remember that one. I'll Be Back Up on My Feet, I like that one. The Poster, I don't remember that one either. P.O. Box 9847, Magnolia Sims, Michael does that one. Valerie, another huge hit. And Zoran Zam. Experimental, more, it's kind of like in a psych vein, the way that Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, Jones was. It's a good album, maybe not quite as good as any of the previous albums, but it's still a strong Monkees album, and if you grew up with this one might be your favorite, right? And I do recommend this, although again, I didn't go online to look at the prices of these things before I did this show, so if it's too expensive, don't bother with it. Okay. The show ended in the summer of, well, it ended before that, but I think it was announced to the world or whatever, and so that there would not be any more Monkees episodes. There wouldn't be a third season or anything. But they were busy. They didn't care. They were working on their movie, Head, which is a classic, but you got to be cognizant of the Monkees story to feel that way. If you don't know anything about the Monkees, I wouldn't go into that blind, and try and watch that. A lot of those scenes are, it's like commentary on the Monkees story and being manufactured and whatnot. This is the big Head box set. 3 discs as per usual. I love all the songs on Head. The album also has dialogue from the film. This record didn't even chart, I don't think, or if it charted, it was really poor. So the Monkees stock plummeted as soon as the TV show ended, which is unfortunate. So I'll just tell you the songs. Porpoise Song is great. Primo Psych opens up the movie. The Diddy Diego War Chant isn't even really a song, but it is, because it's got, it tells their story again. Circle Sky is a great song, but it's better in the movie when it's live. The live version is on here. Supaco, you don't care about that. Can You Dig It is more primo psych. This is their best psychedelic album, actually, Head. As We Go Along is beautiful, kind of pop. Daddy's Song is it's another Harry Nilsson tune, right? And then the Peter Tork song, Do I have to do this all over again? every song that's on this album, if you take out the dialogue from the film, is primo Monkees. This is the last project on vinyl that Peter Tork was involved with in the band. There was a TV show which came out, and after that he quit. But to me, Head's a classic, both the album and the film. But again, I stress, you have to be into the Monkees to absorb all that. By the way, this is already out of print, but I heard that they were going to do it again. This is the Monkees on Blu-ray. This is the complete, series, the two seasons, plus you get the movie Head in here. So again, if you're going to pay silly money, it's up to you. But this will make you a fan more than anything else, is watching, now. But keep in mind, well, you can tell these guys are the ventricular cover. Keep in mind, though, that when you watch the series, it's made for kids, prepubescent kids, so it's not made for adults. So I would not advise trying to get into the Monkees as a middle-aged person, So, but if you've been into them, like I have since you're in your 20s, it's different. And I did watch the Monkees show on reruns when I was a kid. It wasn't like a staple of mine. This is Instant Replay, which is in 1969. Peter had gone. The show was over. The film had been released. It had bombed. They had their TV show, the special. I can't remember what it's called. 33 Revolutions per Monkey. Now they were going to be just a trio. You think, wow, these guys are done, right? The 269 albums are not bad. Instant Replay. I'm not going to read all the songs because you're not going to know them, and they're not classic Monkees, but it's all solid. It's all good. The Rhino handmade box, the usual 3 discs. Here's something a friend of mine gave me. The Monkees Banana Nut Soda, pure cane sugar. I'm a diabetic, so I can't drink this, but I'm just going to keep it and not open it up. There's plenty of Monkees merchandise you can buy. Rhino is pretty much in charge of most of that, but I don't really buy too much old 60s stuff, but if I had the money, maybe. And the last thing I'm going to show you, is a short video. I get under 20 minutes. Monkees present. Again, I don't know if I have a choice between these two 1969 albums. They're both good without being great. But again, 3 discs. And if you don't, I keep stressing, if this is too much for you, or if these are going for silly money prices, don't bother with the 3 disc sets. So anyways, and then again in 1970 they did an album called, I think it was Changes, where by that point Michael had left and it's just Mickey and Davey, and it's like, why even bother? So there's still, to this day, is a bias against the Monkees. A sense that it's just teeny bopper stuff, which it was, is not to be taken seriously, especially by people older than me who were teenagers at the time, who looked down upon them then and who have never changed their opinion in the last, 50 plus years. I say, check out some of the music again. If you don't want to get yourself an album, go online, play some of those songs again. It's top-notch pop. If you're gonna wank over Paul Revere and the Raiders, I don't know why you wouldn't like the Monkees. And hey, don't get me wrong, I dig Paul Revere and the Raiders. But if you like that kind of pop, slash garage rock sound, or pop slash folk rock sound, where you wonder about the band's intentions or whether they're just jumping on a bandwagon or not. Who cares? Trust the art, not the artist. If it sounds good, it's good. And can't think of too much else to say about the Monkees. In terms of the books I've read, I read Mickey's autobiography. I read Davey's autobiography. If Peter and Mike wrote one, I do not know about them, but I certainly have not read them. I read Eric Lefkowitz's book. That was the first book I ever read about the Monkees. And then I read another one which was by a British author whose name I can't remember. Anyways, I would have brought them from my school where they're stored in all my closets filled with rock books, but I forgot about it. So anyways, Matt signing off with the Monkees, another great, I think anyway, great LA band, which, you know, if you're going to argue that they weren't really a band, again, who cares? You know, I mean, they've made a career out of it. You know, they got back and they made albums after that. Right in within the last 10 years, I think there was a Monkees album. I've never heard them. You know, I only like the original stuff usually when it comes to bands. I don't usually go for reunion LPs, but I'm sure that they're all fun. So anyways, Matt signing off. Until next time.